the front page, Bill. 9-9 Nagelsmann. Oh, lovely. 2 games in charge, 2 defeats for Nagelsmann. Not great, really, is it, overall? This calendar year, they've been terrible. 3 wins in 11 matches, 6 losses overall. That is the tie for most in a calendar year in the team's history. For more on this, Frank Leboeuf is here. Frank, it's interesting when you take a look at the side that played today. It is old. I think the oldest ever one that we've seen Germany put out. Is this a case of they need freshening up, they need new blood, or is it a case of these players don't really care because they know it's just a friendly?
Well, I never thought that when you play with the national team, you consider any games as a friendly. You have to put your pride out on the field and make sure that you get the flag very high in the sky for your country. And when you see the names of the players that you see in that first 11 team, you can consider that they're all very good players. They're around 30-year-old, not 29 years old in average, which is, I think, the best years, between 28 and 30. So there is no excuses for Germany to use that and say it's too old. No, they're not. You know, I'm sorry, but I think Messi won the World Cup. He was more than 30. I won the World Cup. I was 30, and so many players won the World Cup around those ages. So it's not an excuse. I think it's mostly. I know, and Nagelsmann put it out during the press conference, where they don't play together. They're not united. And that's the thing in football. If you don't consider playing with the others and think just about yourself, you're not going to create anything. It's not going to work. And it's very strange because part of the best assets that Germany always had in the history is to play together, to be a real squad, to be impossible to beat.
I'd like to make an apology to Julian Nagelsmann. I suggested that he's only been in charge for 2 games. He's been in charge for 4. He beat the US, drew against Mexico as well. But he was brought in, Stevie, of course, because Flick was having a nightmare, and he's still not doing any better.
I look at the back line and I wonder. I mean, seriously, again, my good old friend. I mean, Mats Hummels was a fantastic player at one time, but he's not anymore. And Ta, in my opinion, you know, if they could go and get a couple of the French centre-backs, they can't get a game.
OK.
But quite frankly, when they can't get it right going forward, they're going to lose games. Because they can't defend to save their life.
Right.
I'm not a fan of trapping goal. Rudiger's had a tough time ever since he went to Real Madrid. Hummels shouldn't be playing. And I'm not a fan of Ta. So
what about Kai Havertz as a fullback?
Listen, it's a friendly, so you can try things.
OK. But he tried it last time, it didn't work.
That, but you've got to be able to defend. You can't just rely on going and outscoring teams every time you step on the field. And as I said, on occasions when going forward, they're not quite at it, they're going to lose games because they can't defend. They just can't defend. There's no 2 ways about it. I don't care who the manager is. If all he's got to pick from is Ta and Hummels and an out-of-form Rudiger, then what's the coach supposed to do?
I'm with Stevie. Any hint of pace exposes Germany defensively, and I'm not sure how you're supposed to deal with that by playing Havertz as a left back. That's not his position. He's not going to have those instincts in terms of when to cover Rudiger, when Hummels might find himself out of position. So it's. Right now, I think it's a hiding to nothing until they can identify better defensive partnerships.
As I mentioned.